Hello, thank you for joining me today. I'm Amanda, founder of Inspiring Inkin. Welcome to my craft room. In today's video we're going to be making this lovely Christmas wreath card using a stamp set called Peaceful Noel. And what I'm actually going to be teaching you today is a wreath technique with the Stamparatus. So you're going to need a Stamparatus and I'm going to be showcasing you the new grid paper, why you might need some extra plates which are now available for purchasing, and basically this technique you can use on all sorts of, or use with all sorts of different stamps to make some fantastic images and wreaths. So I'm going to turn the camera around, let's get crafting. Here's a close-up of the card that we're going to make. We've got lots of different products and things for me to share with you as well today. So I'm going to do that really quickly at the beginning, and then I'm going to teach you how to make a template to make this lovely wreath stamping using a Stamparatus. Okay, so quickly, we're using Merry Malone, Mossy Meadow and Early Espresso in the inks and the cardstock. The stamp set is Peaceful Noel, and we're going to be using the Stamparatus. Now I know that the Stamparatus reflects quite a lot on camera, so I'm going to kind of try and keep my hands over it a little bit to stop all the reflections. I have just updated my magnets on my Stamparatus, and I've put some new tape on them. So if you've seen any of my previous videos, you will know that I have been using washi tape. Well, I was finding that the washi tape wasn't quite strong enough for the magnets, so I went looking for an alternative, and I've got two alternatives here. But it does come in lots of different colours. It's called duck tape. So this one is duck glitter, and this one is called ducklings. Now, you may well have seen this type of tape in a workman's toolkit. It's stretchy. It normally comes in black, and it's sort of plasticized, but it's really strong. Now this one, you just tear it like the original black. And then all I've done is I've wrapped it round and trimmed it off. The glitter one isn't quite the same. It's more papery, but you can't tear it. It just doesn't want to tear. So that's actually really good too. And again, I've just wrapped it round and trimmed it off. But I thought you might want to see those. I love this puppy one, it's really cute. Okay, so that's what I've done with my magnets. Stampin' Up have just released an accessories kit for the Stamparatus. And the total kit comes with 2 more plates, an extra foam mat, and the grid paper. Now this grid paper is brilliant. It is designed to go onto your Stamparatus and stop obviously you getting ink and things on your Stamparatus here. It comes in inches and in centimetres. You just flip it over. This is going to be really useful when we come to do our stamping in a little while. But these, you can buy them individually, so you can buy the foam mat and the 2 plates and the grid paper separately, but it also comes as an accessories pack with all 3 included. Okay, so let us get started with this card. I'm just going to move my Stamparatus down a little bit. There's going to be quite a lot of going backwards and forwards with this today. So the foam mat is in and my grid paper is in. And what we're going to do is we are going to make a template for this wreath. So I'm going to pull the Stamparatus out of the way to begin with and start off with a piece of cardstock. So this piece of cardstock is, yeah, it's the right size, is 3.5 inches square. And I'm going to get a piece of my grid paper. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on my grid paper pretty much in the middle. So I'm going to get a Sharpie and I am going to draw around the outside of this square. And what we're actually making is a template. So that's the square drawn around, and now I'm going to draw around it in a diagonal way. Now, by using the grid paper, you can easily make sure that the points are all in the right place, and you can then, it's all lined up. So you want to exactly square on to make a perfect diamond shape on top of your grid paper. So this is your template. If you want to do a wreath on a bigger piece of cardstock, then just cut a bigger square and lay it out exactly the same way. You're not going to be able to go much more than about a 4.5 inch square to actually fit it on the Stamparatus, but this 3.5 inch works well, and obviously smaller works well. Now I'm going to show you how to do the wreath with this template. But obviously, as you can see, it's just made of paper, so I'm going to have to replace it now and again. But what you can do is you can make a more permanent one. And I have one here that's vanished off my table. Ah, right, there we go. Yeah, so you can make a more permanent one. Right, so what I'll do is let me get another piece of grid paper so you can see. So what I did was, this is a piece of window sheet, and I did exactly the same by laying this on the top and drawing round it, exactly the same as I did with my paper template. And then I put my scissors in the centre and I cut out the diamond shape. And honestly, I don't know whether the camera's going to be, hopefully the camera will be able to pick that up. So it's actually got the same shape as you can see here, but this is a more permanent solution. So when I set it up, I'm going to use the paper template, but I will show you this in action just in case it's not clear. Right, so Stamparatus. We've got the foam mat in because the set that we're using is photopolymer, and I've got one of my magnets. When you are setting up to do a wreath style card, there is a little bit of fiddling about to do at the beginning. What you need to do is get yourself a scrap piece of card and just pop it into the template or onto the template and just pin it down with your magnet. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get one of your stamps and position it on the template. And all I'm doing with this is just checking for position. And I just want to show you with a different style of stamp to the ones that we're using on the wreath in a minute, because I've set those up already. So you've got the twig there. You are then going to rotate this, and you're either going to rotate it clockwise or anti-clockwise. It really doesn't matter which way round you go, but you have to keep going the same way round. So it was a diamond shape, so I'm turning it once, and then now it's the square shape. I'm going to ink this up again, and it's going to go there. And then again a quarter turn, each time a quarter turn. And you can see how this is going to build up. I'm just going to do one more just to show you, and then I'm going to put some foliage on it and you'll be able to see. This actually makes a really cool wreath on its own. So we've gone around. So we have got this stamp here, which actually does go over the top there as foliage. So let's just, I'm going to have to stand up and just check that I'm kind of, oh, let me see, right, that's it. So that's going to go there. So then I'm going to pop that down. Just reposition it in the right place. And then, oh, I gave you a bit of wrong information earlier. I said that the green on here was Mossy Meadow. It absolutely isn't. It's Pear Pizzazz. Mossy Meadow is way too dark. So I'm just going to ink that up. And can you see it's actually not positioned where I wanted it to be? And this is why we have a trial run. So I'm going to reposition it and pop it down there. Stay. That's the problem with photopolymer stamps. They want to stick to your fingers, not the paper. Right. So we're going to pop that down, and then I'm actually going to turn this in reverse so that can just go over the top of these, and then you'll be able to see. So didn't even ink that up properly. There we go. And then again. So you can see how this is building up as a wreath. And the important thing for you to make sure is that it's not going off the edge. So the stamps aren't going off the edge when it's either in the square format or in the diamond format. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean down these acrylic plates, get another piece of cardstock, and we are going to build this wreath, which is a little bit more intricate. But I hope that that explains how you position your stamps in order to make your wreath in the first place. Let me just grab my chamois, and actually I'll just give them a quick wipe over. If you don't have a Simply chamois, you need one, or you need two. They're brilliant. One of the questions I get asked quite a lot is, can you wash them? Absolutely you can. I put them in my washing machine on a short cycle on a cool wash with a bit of non-biological powder, and it comes up really clean. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to start with this. So I've got my cardstock in. We're going to do all of the foliage and the outer bits of the berries, and then I'm going to take it off the Stamparatus and fill in the other bits. So on my Stamparatus at the top, I've got The leaves and the berries are going to be stamped in early espresso. And then on my second plate, I've got the fir bough and the inner bit of the leaves. So I'm going to be using both plates, and I'm going to be stamping the early espresso first, and then the pear pizzazz, and turn it around and move it around. And it's kind of going to look a bit weird to begin with, because we've got leaves that haven't got inners and extra bits, but honestly it will, I promise it will work. But it looks a bit strange to begin with. Let's turn it around. And one of the lovely things about this Peaceful Noel stamp set is that it's like a watercolor stamp set, so it is very forgiving as far as all of your stamping is concerned. If things aren't quite lined up perfectly, it almost doesn't show. It's one of those things that you think, oh, everyone's going to see that that's not quite square, but honestly they won't. So look how quick this is coming. And I know we all want quick crafting, and it is taking a little bit of time to set this up. But to be fair, I'm doing quite a complicated wreath. It's got an awful lot of components to it. You could do this with your Stamparatus with maybe just a flower, you know, and that would look fabulous, just going around with a flower or a butterfly or hearts or stars or something. I just picked something that was a tad more complicated, but I just love the effect. So, and once it's set up, you can just keep going. So let's just a couple more, I think, and then we'll be done. Now, if you've got the extra Stamparatus plates, you can easily put in the stamps for the berries. That would work really well. Or the Noel, you can put that on. Or even you could just flip the plates around so that you've got different stamps on different sides. I haven't done that this time because I just wanted to show you how quickly we could do this. And in actual fact, the wreath is done. Okay, so that is how quickly it can be done. So I promised I would show you how to use the acrylic sheet. So let me just move that off. And hang on, put that in, position that so it's in the same place. Right, so if you make this acrylic template, what you're going to do is you put your cardstock in, and it has the added advantage of there's like a lip there, so it actually butts up against it. So let me just, right, so that isn't quite in the right place. Just move it up a little bit. Yeah, there we go. So it works in exactly the same way. So pop those down. The one thing that you do have to be careful of is getting ink onto the acetate, because what can happen then is you can actually pick it up on your fingers. But I'll just do these two bits just to sort of show you. So it works in exactly the same way. It's whatever is more convenient and you prefer, really. Right. Let me just move all of that out of the way. Get this back. So let's get this card made. I'm just going to use this foam pad underneath here. Okay, so I'm going to use a Merry Mellow for the berries. And I'm going to have to stand up for this as well, just to line it up. So I'm going to stamp one and then stamp again without re-inking, and that will give me a lovely sort of two-tone effect on the berries. That one and that one. Then we've got the Noel, which I am stamping in Early Espresso. Then I've got some tone-on-tone stamping on the front of the card using these little stars. They're kind of like snowflakes, but a little bit more abstract, I think. So you don't have to cover the whole of the card, because obviously you've got the centre portion there, but you do want to make sure that you go around all of the edges, because it doesn't quite go to the edge. So yeah, so that will cover that. For the envelope, we don't have any naked envelopes, so we've got a bit of stamping on the envelope, a little bit of stamping in for the inside, and then all I've got to do is get my Tombow and assemble the card. So although the video is probably quite long, making the card itself is actually quite quick. And one of the best things for me about the Stamparatus is the fact that I can make lots of cards quickly. And if I had tried to make this wreath card using acrylic blocks, I could have done it. It's not beyond the realms of possibility for me to have achieved that card, but it would have taken ages, because you would have to do one stamp at a time, and it just would have taken a long time. So the Stamparatus is fantastic for speeding things up and getting things where you want them to be as well. So my original card hasn't got any dimension on it. I think I was thinking about posting it, but this one I'll just put a little bit of 3D on it just to give it a little bit more dimension. So there you go. So there is the completed card. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial and how to make yourself a template for the Stamparatus to make a wreath. You can, of course, if you've got square dies, you could actually cut it out, the acetate sheet with square dies as well. So that would work. And then obviously whatever size you cut out would be the front of your card. So if you've got something like the stitched framelit dies, that would work really well because you get the beautiful stitched framelit edge as well. All of the products that you have seen on today's card are available in my online store. If you pop over to my blog, www.inspiringinkin.com, you can click on my shop. There is all of the details of all of the items that I've used. If you're on my blog, you just need to scroll down. If you're on YouTube, you also just need to scroll down. You probably have to click the See More button underneath my video. Please subscribe both to my YouTube channel and my blog, and then you will always be the first to know when I've got some new projects to share. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.